Have you guys worked with one of these before? Well, we are tonight. I will tell you that. We're going to use our 10 Merry Christmas sign, our Evergreen Wreath base. We've got some accessories, and who knows what's going to happen with all of this. Come on in and say hi. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am Stephanie with Festive Creations by Stephanie, where we inspire and mentor others as well as design beautiful things for your home. And we now provide the supplies to make those things. So come on in, say hey. So this is one of those evergreen wreath bases that you can get at Michael's, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, you name it. It is just the PVC base, right? And when you get them, they always look like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. I don't know how else to explain it. So the first thing that I do is I go through and I fluff it all out. I get it all expanded. I give it a little bit of life. And there's the little plastic thing where the tag was on it at some point. And fluff it up. And one thing that's really important is to get this all going the same direction. Hey, Vic. So it just take a few minutes to do that. And more so because you want all of your twigs going in the same direction. That's really critical. But the more you fluff it out, the more it expands. And of course, we like to have big things sometimes. But we're going to actually integrate some mesh with it today. So I picked out some Snowdrift mesh. It is white. Okay, so we're going to actually integrate some of this Snowdrift mesh. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Snowdrift or not, but the Snowdrift is where it has that solid line of the Snowdrift in it, where the Snowball mesh is like, it's thin and then clump, thin, clump. It's a different style. And I like both, but I prefer the Snowdrift better than anything. So the nice thing about the evergreen base is you don't have twist ties to go by. So there is no magic number, right? So you can add as much or as little mesh as you want. So I'm going to cut some strips. And I'm probably going to cut about 10 of them to start out. And we'll see where that takes us, because I have a little method. 8, 9. Let's do one more and see where that gets us. So the less you handle it, the less it'll fray. But one thing that we did not point out is if you do smaller cuts, so if you do a small shortcut, like 6 inches, and then try to fill in all the spaces with these small pieces, you're going to have a lot of frayed edges. So if you go with a little bit longer, so these are like 15-inch cuts, and that way I can actually take the ends and curl them in so the cut side is on the inside and kind of curl it up. So I'm kind of hiding that area. I'm just taking the twist ties from the wreath itself and using those to add our mesh to. So I'm just going to go. So my process is I go opposite of each other. So I'll come over here. I'll do another one over here. So I do have a method. Hey. And so this is what we look like so far. This is what we look like so far. So we've still got evergreen showing, and now this is the sign that we're going to use. Awesome, Becky Ann. Oh, Brenda, I love it. I absolutely love it. So we're going to use this sign, and we're going to attach this to our evergreen base. And in this case, I'm actually going to leave that jute roping on there because it will help with the ambiance of our wreath. So I added some wires in the holes that are provided in the sign. So we're going to attach the edges with those wires. We could actually put wire up here as well inside these holes, but I think it'll be okay where it's at. But I want to talk about the ribbon selection. So this one was a no-brainer, right? So this is a red ribbon with a green swirl on it. Let me see if I can show you without the glare. So it's got that green glitter swirl. And so it's going to pull some of that red and the green from our sign. And then this one, same thing. It's got red and green and white, but it had more white to it. So it's going to pull some of that white from our sign. And then it was still a little too dark for me, so I wanted to brighten it up a little more with some red. There's our sign attached. Let me cut my wires back here and tuck them away. And so let's add some ribbon. And for this, we're going to do some ribbon tails, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. In fact, I might even get the pick machine out. Let me think about this for a moment. I love these ribbons. Love, love. So because this isn't a real deep, it's not like a poof method where you've got a lot of depth in between and where our mesh is at. I'm going to look at this and see how long I want to cut these. Not quite that long. About right there. So let's measure that out. That's about 10 inches. So hang on. I have a vision. I might need to go 12 inch or 11 inches because I think I might be using the pick machine on this. We'll see. So I've got all three. I'm going to pleat those together, and I might be able to. Let's see. Let me see how that's going to work. Oh, I might like it like this. I think I do. Oh, how precious. Well, if I can decide where I want to put them. So there are our ribbon tails that we added inside the twist tie of the evergreen. We used the evergreen to add that. So and that was 10 inches. So as I said, it's not a real deep cut, not a real deep divot. So let me pile my ribbon up here so I have better control. And I'm going to do that one on top of that one on top of that one. And I'm going to do that all the way around just the outer edge. Just the outer edge though, because we're going to do something a little bit different on the inside. So again, I'm going to do 10 inches. And I only need 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, maybe 8 of these. Maybe 8. We'll do 8 and we'll go from there. So I like that a little bit better. My sign is a lot more snug in there. It doesn't appear as loose. So I secured it at all 4 corners. Just to let you know, I did decide to do that. All right, before we do anything else, I'm going to take a couple of these berry picks and I'm going to dissect them. So they've got some different type of evergreen greenery on them. So you know how our evergreen right now is that PVC. So we're going to give it a little more texture and flair. And we're going to add some variety to it. And apparently it has some really good wire in it. It's a good brand. It's a Maravik brand. So that doesn't surprise me, but holy cow. I normally don't have to take both hands just to cut one. So I put some glue on here, and I love working with this kind of PVC evergreen base because when you add these, they hold really, really well to that PVC. So I just take my little greenery, dip it in the glue, and start inserting it, but I wiggle it around so that it like touches as much of the greenery as it can. So it has a lot of places that it latches onto. So it's an important piece. Wiggle it around, turn it, let it grab on. And this one actually has several pieces to it, so I only brought 2 in because I knew it wasn't going to take much once we dissected. Another thing when I add additional greenery like this is, again, I'm staying with the flow of the evergreen. So I keep everything in the same motion here. Well, thank you, Serena. I appreciate it. I'm trying to catch up on a few lost comments here. Oops. Hang on to my color. Yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated. Just, so I like this evergreen too because it's variegated, so it has that lighter color to it, and it contrasts against the darker green base too. Ooh. Holy cow. Oh, I was trying to cut through 2 of them that time. That would explain a lot. So I've just cut up 1 so far, and it's gotten me about halfway over, so 2 of them are going to be perfect. I'm going to take this extra set of berries and bring that down here. And we'll take our other one and dissect it. Okay, so look how full that made it just by adding that additional greenery in there. Okay, now at this particular junction of our wreath, you have several options. So I brought out a few ornaments just to kind of show you some different options at this junction, because at this point you could add ornaments in here, right? And look at what that kind of does to our wreath just by adding those ornaments in there. Now, I actually chose the dark green on purpose because I felt it would really pop against our other colors. Now, there is red and green. So if you wanted to keep more of a rustic look to it, can you guys see this fly in here? He's going to annoy me. The ornaments kind of pull away from that, but what I do like about adding the ornaments in here is it helps make it more cohesive with the ribbons that we have on the ribbon tails around the side. So it's a nice outdoor, natural, like traditional Christmas wreath. And look at how easy. I love working with the different bases. So I actually think I'm going to go ahead and use these ornaments in it because I like that look. But as you could tell, even without the ornaments, the appearance is very, very nice. Don't be afraid to be creative, right? Y'all, look at that. Exactly. Look at that. So, this is one of those that I will not do a bow on. I stumbled along, and you know what? You lived through it, and you've gone live since then, right? So this is one that I would not do a bow on because that's not my focal point. I want our Merry Christmas to be standing out, and it is one that I would probably hang at a little bit of an angle because it draws your eye to that sign in the center. So I would not hang it like this. I would hang it like this. So that's how it will be displayed. So we just added a little bit of mesh, and that white mesh helps make this pop out a little bit more. We added a little bit of evergreen around it. We added our colored ornaments, and check that out. Hey, Darlene. Get those evergreens out. Don't be afraid to play with them. Don't be afraid to experiment with them. If you've got some glitter picks, you could add the glitter picks. There's so many things that you can do with the evergreen. Key thing, though, is keep everything in the same direction. Just keep the flow in the same direction. You don't want picks going this way and that way and all cattywampus, right? Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to go make me some breakfast for dinner and go get some food before we call it a night. Have a great night, y'all.